who's going to win? It's going to be Gavin Newsom against J.D. Vance because J.D. Vance is subhuman and Gavin Newsom mugs.
J.D. Vance is subhuman?
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
He's got a very short total facial width to height ratio. He's obese, very recessed side profile, whereas Newsom is like 6'3" Chad. Gavin Newsom obviously mogs him to death.
So you're a Newsom head. You prefer Newsom to the vice president.
I'm just telling you who's going to win.
Do you prefer him, though?
It's hard to say, but Newsom being that much more of a mogger and like having a president who's like fat, it's just embarrassing. Like, how are you fat and you expect to like lead a country? You can't even be in shape, you know? I'm voting for Gavin Newsom.
You're voting for Gavin Newsom.
You can't be that subhuman.
Yep. And it kind of looks like Patrick Bateman, American Psycho.
Hey, and then 100 times over. Yeah.
All right, I can't argue with that, I guess.
It just goes to show like who you are as a person, and that's
I think it does. Thesis of looksmaxxing is that looks are the most important thing in life.
Yeah.
The philosophy of Clavicular centers on the belief that physical appearance is the primary currency of social and personal success, contending that aesthetic appeal dictates the totality of human worth. In this framework, moral convictions and political ideologies are secondary to the primordial hierarchy of optics, which is what determines a person's social worth. This mindset arises as a backlash against modern women's dating standards and a rejection of the incel movement's black pill fatalism. Instead of the black pill, Clavicular is advocating for ascension through looksmaxxing.
You're ascending to Gay Heaven, so that's where incels go after they ascend.
So what? So I'm an incel?
You were, but now you ascended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not anymore though, right?
Yeah, no, you're not anymore. Did you just see? You got a bunch of numbers and shit. You literally look like 2 points better already.
So I'm a 5 out of 10 now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Easy 5 out of 10. You guys see that ascension? That's crazy.
Where Clavicular departs from the incel ideology is in its understanding of ascension. It is not undertaken merely for mate attraction. The primary purpose of ascension is domination, to mog. And for those of you who are not internet savvy enough, mog means alpha male of the group, which connotatively means to outshine someone. This shift from attraction to domination marks a critical turning point in internet subculture.
Sub 5? Opinion discarded, get mogged. Sub 5? Shut up. Sub 5? I don't care what you have to say.
While the traditional red pill was a survival strategy designed to navigate the existing sexual marketplace, Clavicular's mogging is an offensive strategy designed to break it. It is the transition from a beggar seeking a seat at the table to a conqueror seeking to flip the table entirely. This is why his rhetoric resonates so deeply with a generation of young men who feel genetically disenfranchised. It offers them a path to power that doesn't require the permission of a partner. To quote Nick Fuentes, right-wing take sellers who feel the need to countersignal Andrew Tate or Clavicular in any way are a disease. We live in an era of total genocracy and feminism. Society is being completely dismantled by girl bosses and their worshipping collaborators. That is what makes it Nietzschean. Ascension is done for the purpose of social domination, not for the purpose of attracting a mate. Showing one's superiority over another becomes an end in and of itself. The catalyst for why I decided to write an article and later on to record the video about it was the segment in which Clavicular has directly stated to Michael Knowles that he wouldn't vote for J.D. Vance because he's a fat subhuman, and that he doesn't really care about politics, he's here rather to mug people.
I literally could give a fuck. I could give a fuck about Palestine or Israel. Is Palestine gonna help me mog or what? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't think so. I don't care about anything that doesn't directly correlate with me mogging. Just to be straight up with you. That ain't gonna help me looksmax. That ain't gonna improve my zygomatic arches. Okay? That's not gonna make my mid-face ratio ideal, whether or not I support Palestine. So I don't give a fuck.
So what are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm realizing that society is going one direction, and I'm trying to improve myself as much as possible so that I could succeed financially, so that I can improve my status and improve my quality of life.
Do you think you will succeed if your country goes to hell in a handbasket?
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, what are we talking about here with the immigration? It's like I'm not competing in the job market with illegal aliens from Mexico, so it really doesn't concern me. You know,
Well, who are you competing with?
other people on social media.
Clavicular is signaling the collapse of the social contract. Furthermore, as it clearly becomes certain, he doesn't care about politics that much, and I would rather support the existing social order if it benefits him personally.
What you're talking about degeneracy and, like, you know, the hypergamy stuff, it's not ideal, but I'm saying that's just how it is. You might as well adapt to the times instead of just, like, you know, doing all these copes like political activism, when this is just the way that the world is going to go and the way that it's going to continue to go. Yeah, go along with, you know, society in the direction it's taking, but make sure you position yourself in the most optimal way possible to take advantage of this.
Now, I don't necessarily want to go too autistic about it and argue why rejecting someone as a potential candidate over looks is dumb, and nor will I be making claims that JD Vance is a good candidate. I think groypers have plenty of valid reasons to criticize him. Likewise, I completely get Clavicular's aura and why he's got following.
Supposedly, he was born in a mental institution, and he sleeps only 1 hour a night. Do you know about Tyler Durden?
But at the same time, Clavicular is a reflection of some of the worst of our modern cultural trends, which are elevating social nihilism.
So therefore, it's crazy to me to hear, well, you should go improve yourself, but don't try to improve your community.
Yeah, because it's a cope. It's not going to happen, right?
Well, hold on. Everything you've been saying is all this, like, very manly, take control of your destiny, even so much so that you're
on
going
an
to alter your
individual
puberty.
level.
Yeah, so why can't we do it on a political level? That sounds kind of, excuse the phrase, gay to me.
Now, that is not to suggest that looksmaxing as a whole is inherently nihilistic. In fact, I think I pretty much support it. But reducing a person's worth solely to physical appearance and then purposefully bullying and mistreating them certainly is. Clavicular has stated on multiple occasions that his primary goal is to mug others and that he has no inherent interest in broader social or political issues, whether it's the Israel-Palestine war or the trans surgeries which he supports.
Well, the way that I see trannies is like, that's one more person to mug once they brutally butcher themselves transitioning, you know?
But is it, I see that.
Like, go descend yourself. Like, that's fine with me.
Because you're ascending yourself.
Yeah, I'm going to ascend, and this person is going to be a comical botch job, you know? So, like, that just seems like very logical to me. Like, yeah, go be a tranny, like, now I mog you to death.
Now, yes, I see it. Isn't that a bit cruel?
If people want to be, like, addicted to opioids, like, I don't think we should be spending, like, taxpayer resources to, like, build, like, addiction clinics and try to pass legislation.
We should just let them kill themselves if they want.
Like, essentially, yeah. I mean, and you got to just focus on maximizing yourself as an individual. All the time that you've spent throughout your entire life talking about trannies, what if you were to dedicate all that time to bone smashing? Imagine where you could have been.
Is that a euphemism?
No, bone smashing.
What is bone smashing? That sounds like what the do.
But that's what I mean. That's just like one example of something that you could do instead of political activism. Is bone smashing.
I want to fit in.
Because of that and many other of his appearances, he can be best described as an individual narcissist who does not think in collective or social terms, unlike most figures positioned for social leaders. This egoism creates a profound sense of social alienation. If a leader's only goal is to be the tallest or most symmetrical person in the room, he has no incentive to build a better world for his followers. In fact, he has direct incentive to keep them subhuman so that his own status remains unchallenged. Clavicular therefore represents the ultimate Ash King, a leader who would rather rule a graveyard of low-tier individuals than be an equal in a society of high-functioning men. Like most leaders of public opinion, he is a narcissist. But unlike most leaders of public opinion, he is an open narcissist who doesn't demand a collective action. The Patrick Bateman kind, a person who lives for his own satisfaction through the degradation of others. That which is falling deserves to be pushed, as Nietzsche said. If you look at his streams, he treats people with complete disrespect. He starts fights, takes drugs, and gets arrested time to time. Applied to broader social dynamics, Clavicular is effectively marketing a blueprint for supremacy. He treats the social hierarchy as a competitive arena in which the goal is to establish undeniable dominance over the inferior, who is then to be dismissed completely. While his chosen weapon happens to be physical appearance, this logic can easily extend beyond looks. Just as billionaires leverage wealth to bypass social constraints, Clavicular's philosophy implies a future in which even political rights or moral worth are apportioned according to one's position in this socially constructed hierarchy. This represents a new and rapidly growing mode of thought, one that runs counter to the Western Christian and chivalric tradition and more closely resembles the Nietzschean conception of the overman. And while it may appear super base and red-pilled, Clavicular and many of his followers are at the bottom of social hierarchy in terms of their politics. And if the totalitarian soy state were to embrace this mode of thinking, they would get mocked out of existence or sent to Gulag. Now, how Clavicular differs from the old supremacists of the past is that he isn't just embracing nature, he is using the tools of modernity to hack the social hierarchy. His genes may code for 6'2", but if he eventually goes with his height maxing surgery, he will be 6'6". The same applies to other physical traits whose appeal he is actively enhancing. These changes are phenotypic rather than genotypic, and worst of all, he is sacrificing his long-term health for short-term appeal.
Wait, why did you say your piss hurt? I got STDs, I think.
Like it burned or what?
Yeah, it burns. It's been burning the past few days. You know? I know that's retarded to leak, but like, these girls don't care, bro. They'll fucking still suck.
Wait, why are you infertile right now?
So it's just like a negative feedback loop when you're, not needing to produce testosterone anymore because your body realizes, okay, we're getting it from an exogenous
So you're not producing
source.
any testosterone naturally?
No.
None?
No.
Moreover, since he's infertile, none of these modifications can be passed down genetically, making his form of behavior evolutionary a dead end rather than adaptive. That being said, if people are doing soft-maxing just like women like to do makeup, then it's perfectly fine. Just as appearing better for the purpose of social advancement is fine, I'm simply taking this philosophical approach to its logical conclusions, which is too many looksmaxers would become meth-addicted infertile chuds, ascending culturally but descending genetically. There's a biological tax on this kind of ascension. By forcing the body to mirror an ideal it was never meant to hold through extreme surgeries or chemical cocktails, the individual enters a state of permanent physiological death. They are essentially mortgaging their long-term biological health for a short-term social high. This creates a fragile hierarchy where the leaders are one missed dose or one surgical complication away from a total collapse back into their subhuman status they so despise. Furthermore, any philosophy built on mogging someone requires constant self-reflection to an obsessive-compulsive degree, and a bipolar understanding of one's identity, constantly flipping between a sub-5 subhuman and a mogger, and any minor thing can cause this.
Piss
Mog incidents.
I'll let him tell it in his own words. I went to the bathroom to pee before lunch. I didn't really have to go. I just wanted to do it proactively so I wouldn't have to go later at a less optimal time. I'm extremely piss shy. I hate the idea of peeing next to someone at a urinal. It feels so embarrassing and the pee never comes out. Anyone else have this? So I always go to the stall to pee. This time it's me and this BBC. He walks into the stall next to me. I start my pee stream and it's kinda quiet and weak. I can tell the BBC is laughing at my subhuman stream. He whips it out out and produces the most girthful and powerful stream I've ever experienced. Moggs me to Gandhi with his beautiful, luscious stream. I truly want to end it. Indeed, that is a fate worse than death.
Most people, just like Clavicular, are obviously not going to handle it very well. It traps the individual in a permanent mirror prison where their self-worth is dictated by lighting or the presence of a taller man in the room. And while Nietzsche's Overman sought to create new values after the death of God, the Clavicular model Overman finds value only in the mirror. He is the Overman which has mastered the technical mechanics of the body, but has utterly abandoned the spirit, viewing the world through a lens of total individual nihilism.
One of the evils of pornography is it reduces people who are, these integral human beings with soul and body, it reduces them to the physical. So it's just, meatbags bumping uglies on a screen. It's even one level abstracted.
Yeah.
But isn't that a commonality with looksmaxing, which is to reduce the human person down to the level of the physical being the most important?
I would say that, yeah, it's not far from the truth, but it's just what needs to be done in society.
On my Substack, I have proposed an alternative strategy for looksmaxing that doesn't require harming your own body in the process, but it's very difficult. If you want, you can check it out. The link will be in the description. Once again, thanks for watching, and subscribe to my Substack, Twitter, and Telegram, because I'm not just on YouTube, and actually since December of last year I have more followers on X.